Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Blocklike TIDES Panel. And I'm your host today, Erika. As a media brand, Blocklike has been absolutely focusing on everything about blockchain. And our Blocklike panel invites top leaders and players in the industry to share with you the most exciting and in-depth discussions and ideas through live broadcasting. And today we're going to talk about NFTs and the metaverse. So what are the possibilities with NFTs in the metaverse? What can do with these NFTs? So for those who are new to these buzzwords, let me quickly break it down for you. NFT stands for non-fungible token. It is a unit of data that's being stored on a digital ledger or blockchain, where it can represent digital content that can be easily reproduced on the internet. You can think of it as a digital checking machine, to provide guaranteed proof of origination and ownership of a digital asset. So that's NFT. And the metaverse, there are literally so many interpretations about metaverse out there today. I think all of our panelists can have their own version of metaverse. But in general, it refers to a virtual world where people can buy and sell digital assets and can hang out with their friends in the metaverse. So coming back to today's topic again, how do you prove yourself? How to prove you are you in the metaverse and what you can do with all these NFTs in the metaverse. I think our panelists is going to bring us a lot of the interesting insights and can't wait to hear from them. So let's get right started. So please, everyone, introduce yourself, your project, and and tell us, how do you view NFT's role in the metaverse? So how about we get started with Marshmallow from MetaFriends.
MetaFriends NFT series is divided into 8 races and has vastly unique styles and fashion senses. We are here on a mission to connect worldwide fashion lovers, designer brands, and communities to a road of a decentralized organization. Now, within the role of NFT and the metaverse, as you just said, there's a lot of definitions. We are in a new age and a new era of this amazing revolution. So within the NFT and the metaverse, the role that it plays, they're all connected together. The metaverse actually gives the canvas, a free canvas for us designers, creators to create something. And the NFT provides the value of that to the metaverse. So it provides a value in the metaverse. As you just said, you connect with people, you could show off your NFT to other people within the metaverse. So really you can't pinpoint what metaverse is. That's how I see the role with NFTs, how it's connected with the metaverse. So they all go hand in hand. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And next, Bjorn.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Hi, everyone. My name is, I'm the founder and CEO of ROCKI, ROCKI.com. We are one of the largest and leading music NFT marketplaces. So it's a place for musicians around the world to be able to issue their songs as collectibles. And as you guys know, I'm sure it's typically been very popular with crypto art and visuals. So what ROCKI does is we focus on music. And the goal is, of course, to make music valuable, again, with creating scarcity. And we are actually currently exploring a lot of opportunities in the metaverse. We have a couple of official partnerships. One is with Tori Zero, where we provide music NFTs from our musicians on the platforms that are able to be viewed and listened to in the different metaverses. And we believe that there's a lot of opportunity for music NFTs to exist in the different metaverses, to have background music, to have virtual performances, and to have a metaverse record shop where music could be bought and then engaged in those metaverses. So we're currently talking to several other really big metaverses projects. I can't name it right now, but it's looking very, very exciting. And that's kind of where we see the future going. So very happy to be here. Looking forward to the conversation.
Thank you, Bjorn. Yeah, music NFT is definitely the hottest thing right now. Okay, next we go to Marcus.
Hi everyone, I'm Marcos. I'm the CEO of Birdworld. I've operated different blockchain projects, and I want to build Birdworld into a real GameFi metaverse. A little bit about Birdworld. It is a decentralized average game crafted by our technical team from many countries, including Blizzard team, and it integrates blockchain and DeFi and GameFi into the metaverse. We have DAO, as well as other technologies and concepts that users can enjoy. Not only a wonderful and rich game experience, but also learn revenue through gaming skills. In Birdworld, our NFTs and smart contracts are separate and predictable. So there are computational costs of the assets and resolutions, and the flow will need to be minimized and cross-chain to the acceptance of NFTs. And this will make it easier to achieve. And the asset contract separation will be a safer design. And under a unified value of the chain, it can be smooth within our game. And the content can be used for acceptance, including game tokens, game data, and other things.
Fantastic. Thanks, Marcos. You know, cross-chain and interoperability is definitely a big thing in the blockchain world right now. Okay, next, let's go to our lady here, Yomiko. Yomiko, can you tell us more about yourself and your project? And also, how do you view NFT's role in the metaverse?
Sure. Hello, everyone. This is Yomiko. I am the CMO of Realy. I have served as the market leader for many star projects of blockchain, such as Marlin Protocol, TIDES, Field Protocol, and so on. So Realy Metaverse is a virtual city comparable to 3A games, backed by the Unreal Engine. So we mainly focus on street culture and will issue NFTs, including fashion branded items, art toys, rap music pieces, graffiti arts, and items, IPs with skateboarding and many other street culture elements. We will also have many collaborations with celebrities and famous names. So NFTs and the metaverse described in simple terms to vertical with huge business potential in the near future. Although this might sound pretty obvious for like techie audience, it still raises more questions than answers. And here is the role of NFTs in the metaverse from users and business perspectives. So NFTs promote digital assets ownership in the metaverse, and it's really popular as digital assets for users who jumped into the brand warden pretty early. However, the current landscape doesn't favor some mainstream adoption, something that the metaverse will likely change soon. So with the rising virtual communication spaces in the metaverse, thanks to the VR leads, sellers and buyers will now have a more intuitive experience when exchanging these digital assets. And also the combination of VR and NFTs in the metaverse will likely attract NFT users, including brands and the multinational business to drive mass adoption. An excellent example of company that is already branching out into the space is Nike with its novel Nike Landverse. It's just a matter of time before the company's mainstream consumers start to experience the new digital assets ownership in the Nike World Metaverse. And also there are various good NFT projects out there that can yield a positive ROI. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Yomiko. Last but not least, Wilson, please.
Hey guys, thanks for having me here today. And yeah, I'm the co-founder of CyberConnect.me. And CyberConnect, we're building a decentralized social graph protocol for all sorts of blockchains. We're here to connect everyone who has a wallet, as their account system. And we currently, we recently finished our Series A and we have pretty good investors with us, including like Multicoin, Animal Cut Brands, and Protocol Labs, and all of that. Yeah, and we are a serial entrepreneurial team. We built Lino blockchain back in 2017, and also I was the chairman of DLive.tv. After we got acquired, we took a whole year break thinking about like what's gonna happen in the next like 5 or 10 years within the Web3 space or in general blockchain. We saw the opportunity and demand for Web3 native social networks. It's not ready yet, and therefore we're here to build it. Right now, users are already used to logging into different apps with their Wallet Connect, MetaMask, and all of that as their account system. And the good side about it is you could travel between apps with your wallet with all the crypto assets that you have. That includes NFT. That's amazing. But at the same time, there are lots of core what we consider as like your social capital or what could be valuable data for users specifically still owned centralizedly by different platforms. For example, one of the key assets that we see, your brand graph and be able to travel between different apps with the same amount of followers and friends. You should be able to travel between the Realy platform and some other metaverse and play with the same group of friends without the permission of Facebook or Twitter. And that's how we're actually first one. We're actually the first one, in the market to provide this infrastructure. And currently, we already accumulated more than 3 million connection between about 150,000 unique address users. And we have 40,000 of them already connected their, verified their accounts with their Twitter accounts. And that's how we also breach your identity from Web 2 to Web 3 as well. Yeah, a lot could be explored. Yeah, hope to got the opportunity to share with you more. And my view on NFT is pretty simple. I think NFT before Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, we don't have any digital asset actually on the internet, and users do not have any kind of like property rights. And after Bitcoin, and for the first time, we as internet users got to own a piece of assets that is truly belongs to oneself. And NFT expand the possibility of owning those assets with all kinds of different, variety of different assets, and all those things are programmable instead of just being a currency or a reserve token like a Bitcoin. And that's a huge, possibility for anyone to, explore into. That's my basic take. And yeah, thanks for having me here again, and hope to have a great conversation with all of you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Wilson. All these tech giants like Facebook, Twitter, and then, internet is gigantic coffee machine right now. And Web3 is giving us this hope to really own our own identity and all of our information and digital assets. So I think starting next questions, I'm still going to go around to every speakers, but if you think, we're echoing with what the other speakers were talking about, and feel free to jump in anytime. So the next question is, so as we know, NFTs are not limited to the simple JPEG avatars anymore. And with the market demand applications becoming more diversified, the value of the NFTs, as a lot of you already brought it up, it's about your identity and also the digital ownership. So can you, let's start with Bjorn. Can you tell us how is ROCKI, helping your users to achieve their own social value and their digital rights through NFTs?
Yeah, great question. So, first of all, one of the unique things that we do is we actually have our own verification system together with a partnership from Ontology. So our content creators, our musician, have to be fully KYC'd and DID verified, and the ontology solution is actually tying in with your social graph, so it can verify you through your Twitter or LinkedIn or even Netflix or Spotify account to really build up a secure verification that, for example, artist, Erika is the real artist Erika, and there's no chance that you're going to be uploading some music from somebody that is not you. So that's kind of the first step we take to make sure that all the users are verified, that they are uploading and minting NFTs that is fully in their rights to do so. What was the second question there, please? Erika, what was the second part?
And also digital rights, right? We talked about social values and digital rights.
Yeah, so obviously the digital rights goes into the NFT. So the artist Erika is, of course, as we said before, verified to be the real Erika. So in terms of music, those rights can include rights to royalty income from our platform, and of course it could also be tied into if you have multiple stakeholders in a song. Let's say, for example, me and Marshmallow has done a song together. We're both verified. We can basically split the earnings that comes in since we're both verified. So that's kind of what we're looking at in terms of building up, a copyright and royalty rights digital verification system that everyone can feel that they are not only a trusted source, but also verified through a big company and official partner like Ontology.
Fantastic. So Marcos, what is BirdWorld is doing, helping your users to achieving social values and also, digital rights as well?
Yeah, thank you. So BirdWorld provides NFTs as an asset browser functionality, and it's directly in the wallet. So the NFT asset browser is the main window where you can browse the blockchain information, as well as it's the way that we record the content on each block, and it can be checked from the browser. So each individual has access to the blockchain system and has the corresponding NFT on that asset in there. So.
Great. So Marshmallow, what about MetaFriends? What is MetaFriends doing?
So MetaFriends, as you know, it's an NFT project. So every person who owns the NFT goes straight connected to their wallets too. But at the same time, we wanted to focus more to give the community a sense of ownership and the utility of this NFT. So we focused a lot about how can we make sure that the user is actually feeling that extra step of sense of ownership in a way that in the MetaFriends, every MetaFriend can actually be customizable. So you could dress it the way you want to do it. You present it in the metaverse as in your own style. So in that way, we've added that extra sense of ownership to that, other than jumping into the technical part, right? Like connecting it to the wallet and all of that. We wanted to do it more into the community and in the metaverse. So that's really how we gave it more sense of ownership, and we made sure that in a way that when you're investing in this NFT and changing their styles and their fashion, in a way that you're actually increasing the value of your investment. So at the end of the day, when you bought this NFT, you mint this NFT for whatever you mint it for, and then you added some rarity fashion things into it. You are actually at the end of the day selling it higher because you bought a cap that has a brand logo on it that has a better rarity trait to your MetaFriends. So we added an extra layer of ownership through basically using the NFT customizable features that we have.
Fantastic. Extra layer, sense of the ownership feelings to your users. Fantastic. So Yomiko, so can you tell us, what is really also helping your users to have this sense of ownership?
Yeah. So from our perspective, Metaverse has been heavily influenced by some virtual capitalists and the writer Matthew Ball, like Matt. We define the Metaverse as the future of the internet. a massively scaled, persistent, interactive, and interoperable real-time platform comprised of interconnected virtual worlds where people can socialize, work, transact, play, and create. So the metaverse is the distinct evolution of Web3. In its most complete form, it will be a series of decentralized, interconnected virtual worlds with a fully functional economy where people can do just about anything they can do in the physical world. So in Realy, we have created a metaverse in the form of Second Life, because we know the metadata may represent us, and we can dive into the Second Life to prove who we are. In the Realy metaverse, our identities will have to include an easy login and unique ID, which is an avatar. By the way, we just ended.
Hello? I think we kind of lost her. Hi, Yomiko? Hi, Yomiko, are you there? All right, looks like she's losing her connections right now. Yomiko? Okay, we'll come back to you later, Yomiko. So Wilson, CyberConnect always, being very active in a social media space. You're trying to eliminate Twitter and Facebook. So tell us, how is CyberConnect is helping your users to achieve their social values?
First of all, we're not trying to eliminate like anyone. We're a protocol instead of a user-facing platform. But we do have a whole bunch of developers start leveraging our platform, our protocol to build their social experiences. So basically, what we do we enable users to own their own social graph data, and by that I mean when you follow someone on a platform that's integrated with CyberConnect protocol. That action means that first of all, you have to sign it with your wallet, and then that data, it's going to be stored decentralizedly on IPFS through Ceramic, and that will be under a TIDES structure system as well. And then the next time when you log into other apps that has integrated with CyberConnect, you could have the same amount of social graph data that you own through all these different platforms. And of course, subgraph could be possible, which means you could have this group A of friends in gaming and then group B of friends in a decentralized kind of like Twitter. Yeah, so that's our protocol, and we also do like data indexing as well, and also some other social related recommendation based on this address on-chain and off-chain behavior to come up with implicit connection recommendation for users to easier to find the friends that you potentially have on Web3. Yeah, so I think that's how we help developer. It's first help them to become more decentralized and giving back the data ownership back to users. Second, a lot of the developers always have this co-start problem whenever they start out with a game or any kind of social platform. So let's say you want to build a decentralized version of Twitter or anything related to a content feed. Without a social graph, without any existing social graph to bootstrap, you basically could not provide any new users any feed content. And normally how Web2 developers do it is like by request access from your local contact book, from your cell phone. And then that's not going to work in Web3 because we don't use cell phone as an account system there. And prior to that, developer used to use Facebook, as their social graph source. But Facebook eventually banned it because they eventually figured out this is my own assets, not users. Why would I share it to you? right? And the awkward thing right now, it's like they have nowhere else to get the data to bootstrap their app and the whole user experience. And with CyberConnect, we currently, index it 20 million plus connection data between users. So it's one of the best way for them to bootstrap their user experience. You could generate a feed for users by knowing who they're following, by knowing what they're interested in. Yeah.
Fantastic, just definitely amazing protocols, and a lot of user developed tools and technology can be utilized to help users to better, owning their own data and identity on the internet. Oh, so okay, so we got Yomiko coming back. So Yomiko, do you have anything to add to the last questions? We're still in the last question.
Yeah, I just lost connection. So, yeah, I don't. Where will I, like, before losing my connections?
We were still in the last questions, and you mentioned, really, what is your project to do and help your users to improve their social values and experience.
Yeah, I think that's basically everything.
Okay, yeah, we'll come back to you in our next round of questions. Yes, Marshmallow.
Yeah, sorry, if I may add one more thing, actually, which I think it's very important in the MetaFriends and in NFT projects in general. Sense of ownership too, has, as I told you, it has many layers that we needed to add. Another thing is that when you own a MetaFriend, for example, based on the project that I'm talking about right now, as a community, as an owner, you are basically investing in this project. You are giving, you're purchasing this NFT, you're purchasing with your own money, and you're investing in it. So you're part of the team, right? And that part of that, we wanted to focus a lot on this, where we actually have the users who own an NFT have a voice, where you could vote to where we are gonna go next. And that is very important, I believe, in an NFT project, to give another layer of ownership. There's a lot of things that we could explore if we wanted to talk about ownerships and what we could do. It's changing a lot. The projects are, developing. A year ago, tell me what is NFT, and now it's totally different, right? On how we're going, the direction. So that's really how I think there's another layer where you get your users to vote on how the project is going next. So yeah, just wanted to add this one.
That's definitely the power of the community. You can connect directly with your community, and your community or this DAO organization having the power to decide where the project is going to go. Exactly. All right, so let's go to our next question here. Our next question is, NFTs in the metaverse are going to be built on, or already being built on, DID technology. So DID stands for decentralized identification. And NFTs can be used as items like user props, clothings, avatars, background music, and etc. So what kind of opportunities does Metaverse present for NFTs? And do you think Metaverse is the best application or the killer applications for NFTs? Let's start with Marcus.
Yes, yeah, great question. I would say that NFT in the metaverse is huge. That there will be real world possibilities, with actually unlimited possibilities, I would say, for all the users that participate, and not only participating individually, but at the same time. And we'll have like fully functioning economies, and it will blend in both the physical and the digital world, I would say.
And what do you think, Bjorn, as a music NFT project? And do you think Metaverse is going to be bringing out the best of NFTs? Bjorn?
Hey everyone, my computer crashed. What did I miss?
We're getting technical help.
Oh, okay.
For something.
Yeah, great.
Perks of working virtual, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
All right, guys. So I think we're getting help underway, and that person is gone. Sorry about all the drama. And okay, well, coming back to the question that we're asking Bjorn about. Bjorn, are you there? Hello, Bjorn.
Yes, sorry, I'm here. I had my computer crashed, so I had to
We
restart.
cannot
Sorry
hear
about
you.
that. Can you hear me?
Oh.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes. Okay. Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, guys.
Yeah,
So,
sorry, my computer crashed. I had to restart.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, how is your, can you tell us, do you think Metaverse is really is going to bring out the best of NFTs as a music NFT project?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I mean, obviously there's a huge amount of opportunity. There's so many incredible projects building incredible metaverses. And of course it provides a lot of opportunity. We have a great NFT marketplace, and most of our musicians make more money in one NFT drop than their entire yearly paycheck from Spotify. But that's still only the users and visitors that we have on ROCKI.com. So when we expand into metaverses, we can actually show those music NFTs to potentially hundreds, maybe even thousands of more music lovers. And when you add a couple of more metaverses to that, you could potentially be showing your music to tens of thousands of metaverse consumers that are out there in the different worlds. So that just creates a huge opportunity for the musicians to be able to sell more, to earn more, and of course to get more exposure and get more fans. And I think many musicians, of course, they all want to make more money, but they also want to make and have more fans that are exposed to their music. And I think integrating with metaverses is a really great tool for that. So right now we're working on having cross-chain compatibility, so we can exist in different metaverses worlds depending on what blockchains they are built on. So there's a huge amount of opportunity there, and that's kind of what our team is heavily focused on, just expanding. And we want to be in as many metaverses as possible to provide music to them, but of course also give our musicians on our platform much bigger exposure by being in those metaverses worlds. So we certainly are big believers on where things are going, and I think everyone can agree here we're still in the very, very early days of what the future would look like if we look into the crystal ball in the next 5-10 years. I think everybody will be dialed into the metaverses. We will all have our own avatars and our own digital clothing and brands, and consume various products and services in those metaverses. So it's really, really exciting times to be working in this industry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and talking about the interoperability, because you kind of touched on the cross-chain functions and interoperability. So is your project on particular one protocol, right? And then I think once there's an interoperability, there's cross-chain function, there's definitely is gonna more opportunities and potentials for NFTs. So I'm just going to follow up with this question here. So what would the future holds for NFTs when we got cross-chain and interoperability there in place? And Wilson, what do you think? Wilson?
Yeah, I'm here. So for interoperability and cross-chain, I think it's gonna be a big trend. I think most of the assets should be designed to be, first of all the NFT assets are programmable, and therefore, by nature, it should allow all kind of developers to develop any use cases around different sorts of NFT. If I purchase a music NFT from, ROCKI.com, I should be able to use it no matter I'm on Solana network or Ethereum or BNB chain. It doesn't really matter. So I think that the problem here is the user-friendly level for cross-chain assets and the security. First of all, like bringing one asset to another right now, there are lots of like bridging solution out there that's pretty much with a lot of risk. And we could already see a lot of them already been hacked. And technological wise, I think that should be the first priority to fix it. And a lot of the platform already trying to fix that. We have seen, for example, Cosmos, the Tendermint structure, and some other cross-string platform as well, are working on it. And the second thing that we should focus on is like, how could we decentralizedly and also securely, achieve interoperability with a pretty user-friendly experience. Like right now, it's horrible. Like even for me, like I've been in the industry for 5 years. Whenever I want to, swap my token from like Ethereum mainnet to let's say Polygon or Solana, it's already hard. You have to click this, click that, pay gas fee, another gas fee, and then you get like WBTC, WETH, and then yeah, it's complicated. So it's definitely a pretty big problem and challenge to be solved. And yeah, a little bit. Like it's not stored directly on Ethereum or Polygon or Solana. Instead, we use Ceramic, and also we store all the data on IPFS. The trick here is to make sure those data are self-sovereign data. On Web3, I think it's not always about using the blockchain as the technology to ensure like decentralization. I think that's not the only purpose of Web3. For Web3, I think one key part here is to ensure like user-owned data, data self-sovereignty. Ceramic Connector achieved that pretty well. And also with data stored on IPFS, and as long as we could achieve data integrity and making sure first of all those data are stored decentralizedly, and second, no any single point of failure would happen within the system, and no any other party could damage the data integrity, including us as the founding team. That should be okay for users. And by this kind of structure, we are by native blockchain agnostic, and it's super easy for all kind of blockchain to integrate with us. So far, we already supported Solana, and we already supported most of the EVM. We're gonna start expanding to the BNB chain ecosystem as well. The key here to connect to all the social graph is to locate their address, basically your public key, and potentially maybe your ENS or your any kind of naming service. For example, like Bonfida has a naming service in a Solana network. And then what we do is like we provide those connections between those addresses, and we also do the index as well. The index part is of course centralized, but as long as those data are verifiable, openly accessible, there should be no problem on data integrity as well. So that's a very different approach to what we call interoperability. It doesn't have to be always on chain. For example, like Mirror and some other blockchain projects has done the same thing, and they could store things on Arweave, and whatever that's stored on Arweave could be like your NFT profile, the actual picture or the music could be stored on Arweave and then be brought onto some other blockchain as well. So there are multiple ways to solve it. Yeah.
Right. I guess if you're storing everything on the blockchain, obviously it's going to be too heavy. And I completely agree with some of the Wilson's point, and the usability of the Web3 and a lot of protocol is not really there yet. And we are, as users, are so spoiled with the usabilities of Web 2.0. So it's definitely a long way to go to improve the usability of Web 3.0. And speaking of the protocols, you mentioned Solana, and I think I know that Realy is building on Solana. So Yomiko, can you tell us, why does Realy chose to build on Solana, and do you think it's the best protocol for your project? Yomiko?
Yes. Right. So we think like there all will be like there will be many metaverse and they will be interconnected together. So that is why it will be important for any metaverse to be like trustless. People can interact directly without going through an intermediary, and permissionless, meaning anyone can participate without like authorization from a governing body. So yeah, we are now in Solana right now, and we will be on other public chains in the futures. And also, like we believe although the NFT project will also have its own ecological roadmap, but with the penetration of Web3 culture, the future NFT will be built in different virtual worlds that is so different. And finally, it will achieve the circulation of assets and NFT. So I think the future is bright, and we are looking forward to that. Thank you.
Thanks, Yomiko. So Marcus, where does your project, BirdWorld, is built on? What protocol is it built on?
All right. So yeah, our strategy is a bit different with our BirdWorld. Our NFT and smart contract data are stored separately on the chain. And there will be many continuous transactions on our network with BirdWorld, so as to reduce the calculated cost of the asset resolution and the flow as much as possible. We separate the assets, and the contract can actually realize the separate analysis and execution of the contracts and the operation of the chains. And this is necessary in its design. So that way we can have the data and the contract of the assets separate. And so the owner has all the rights to the assets, and the operation of the assets can only be completed by the owner's authorization. So, and because the asset contract is not separate, it could avoid being destroyed of the property of the asset, and then also calling the asset by others or modifying that content of the contract is easier to realize the cross chain acceptance of the NFT without considering the restriction of the contract factors. So in the end, the separation of the asset and the contract is a safer design for our use case.
Marshmallow, do you agree with that? Separating the asset and the contract, and then where is MetaFriends is built on?
So as a community manager, I'm not as technical as my colleagues here. So when it comes to protocols, contracts, I could speak generally about, what contracts are we using at MetaFriends. We've used the ERC 721A and R to, first of all, to implement this trust with our community, because, as we use ERC 721A and R, it means we eliminate the rug pull, for example, that something is gone, like in history right now. And most importantly, it's that they could actually, when they buy the NFT, and let's say in a while they did not like the project, or the project is not going well as they wanted to, they could actually refund the NFT, right? And the money goes back to their wallet, which things like that we're using. And of course, when we switch to 3D on Q3, we're going to be using an ERC 998, which is, I believe, we are one of the projects that's pioneering these contracts. But as I told you, I'm a community manager, so I'm not really technical. So I focus mainly on the community. Yeah, I focus more on the community, and I always think, what can we do? MetaFriends is a very community-based project. So I always think, what can we do as a community? And I could answer the question about the metaverse and how MetaFriends actually interact with that. So, the metaverse, I love this word. There's no pinpoint definition, but for me, when I first saw this project and, first got into the metaverse and the NFTs, I went back to my first time I put my virtual reality and went into a virtual reality world where I met people from all over the world, right? That's the mentality for me. I was like, oh, you know, metaverse could be that, where you're actually your meta friend, for example, that's your identity, and that's where you're gonna go meet other people. And basically what would happen is the metaverse provides this amazing canvas of no barriers. You know, there's no barriers anymore. There's no international borders. There's nothing. You and I could connect there right away. You know, we just go into the metaverse and we connect. And that's what we wanted to focus on in the MetaFriends. So in MetaFriends, we have the metaverse, what we call the meta land. And that's where, you know, you own that meta friend, you go there, you start socializing with other investors, like-minded investors, right? And you could actually go stop and shop at one of the Metaland stores, which is going to be created by creative designers or well-known brands, things like that, where you could start purchasing things and then show that meta friend with your own style. And in return, you're actually, in a way, you're actually showing that, and then, you know, somebody could see your meta friend and, you know, contact you, is like, hey, I want to purchase that meta friend. How can I purchase it? So again, the metaverse provides amazing opportunities for our community, not only to connect, not only to, you know, fix your meta, like, you know, to better your meta friend investment, but at the same time, it gives you this opportunity to, you know, connect with like-minded people. And that's very important in a community, to connect with like-minded people. You grow together. At the same time, you know, your investment, you know that your investment is being seen. And that's very important. Why do you put your NFT profile picture on Twitter if you own an NFT? You want to be seen. And that's what the MetaFriends provides. And that's what the MetaLand and the Metaverse will provide to the users. And as we all said, you know, it's going to keep on getting better and better, and the technology will keep on expanding. I, for example, can't wait to see a virtual concert. So ROCKI, looking at you guys, they're like, a virtual concert on a on a metaverse is just amazing, because now I could go see my favorite artist right while I'm sitting on my couch, and I like that. You know, I don't want to go there, crowded people. So that's exactly what the metaverse is, and that's what gives power to the NFT. Because at the end of the day, as a community and as an investor, I want to look at the utility. How can I benefit from my investment? It's not me posting a picture on profile anymore. It's not me saying, hey, I own this. It's me saying, I own this and I want a return and an investment return. So ROI, right? So that's really how I look at it as a community manager. Sorry, I'm not really technical and tech.
Trust me, you're not alone. You're definitely not the only one who's not technical. And let's talk about something that's non-technical then. Let's talk about marketing, right? As a community manager, Marshmallow definitely touched on some point of the marketing, like investment values, right? Hang out with your friends in the metaverse with MetaFriends. That's definitely something marketing manager would do. I think we can talk a little bit about, you know, beyond ROCKI, what your projects, you know, what marketing strategies you have right now? Are you still working with like KOLs or big brands to promote your NFTs, or do you think, is there anything that we should, you know, different strategies we can see in the future for marketing?
Yeah, sure. We are working with the KOLs, and also we're just exploring, you know, entering with brands with our music NFTs, and that creates a lot of opportunities for, you know, bigger brands that have really authentic connections with real consumers that are very organic and very real. We have a great community on ROCKI and Telegram and Discord, and of course musicians, they all like to kind of collaborate. So we see a lot of kind of, you know, collaborations between, you know, singers and producers and so on. And, you know, our goal is of course to expand that even more, to make ROCKI become that kind of hub where creativity can flow and musicians can come and hang out with other like-minded musicians. And we might even build our own music metaverse at one day. You know, currently we're focusing on partnering with bigger metaverses as they've already built them and they're building them. But, you know, obviously, as we all love music, there is for sure some sort of future goal to create our own, music focused metaverses. And of course, you can have some great brand integrations there. And as Marshmallow was saying, being able to perform for an audience in the metaverse is incredible. Both for the musician themselves, they might just perform out of their home studio. And for the music lovers, they might just sit on the couch with some headsets and just enjoy that experience, fully immersed and not having to leave the house and go to a crowded festival or nightclub. And, as I said before, I think we're just kind of starting to scratch the surface of what's possible or not. So that's kind of what we're working on. And of course, there's a lot of word of mouth as well. The musicians, they typically already have a bunch of fans and followers that they can tweet out to that will bring in the eyeballs to look at either the music NFTs or these type of live types of concerts in the metaverses. So I think it will be part kind of driven by the musicians themselves that will say, hey, I'm Marshmallow, I'm playing tonight at 8 p.m. UTC, come watch me, here is the link, and people can just follow that link straight into the experience.
Fantastic. And Yomiko, you're the marketing expert here too. And is there anything you want to add to Bjorn's point? Are you working with big brands, KOLs, or anything different you guys are doing?
Yeah. Actually, I believe that like co-branding can open up user awareness in the early stage, but actually in the future, it must be your own to create culture, stories, and brands. The future marketing strategy must be combined with the overall development of the metaverse and change in the user behavior habits. And actually, we did a lot for like the co-branding thing. And towards the non-crypto users, we brought them to our metaverse through their favorite celebrities and KOLs collaboration events, such as No. And we will host a concert on Realy metaverse next week. Yeah, we have already signed some rappers, artists, and KOLs in China and the United States, and we'll gradually launch exclusive virtual concerts, exhibitions, and exclusive NFTs for them. Yeah, thank you.
More user activities, yeah. Yeah, Wilson, do you have anything to add?
Just I don't know whether I don't want to spoil that. Sorry. Like we're having a partnership NFT with Realy, and I really like their concert, and yeah. But you should be able to see it in the next couple of weeks.
Well, you guys should invite everyone to the concert to have a party there, just to avoid the clouds in the COVID situations. Why not have some fun in the metaverse? All right, Marcos, what do you think? What marketing strategies BirdWorld is doing?
For us, our concept is it's a game, so we want to just get everybody involved and join in on the metaverse, and that involvement is creating that ecosystem within our game. So.
All right, and Marshmallow, anything to add?
Yeah, of course. I first want to say, Bjorn, you used me as an example playing in a concert. If I play in a concert, I promise you they're going to be asking for refunds. But other than that, I guess the marketing strategy, yes, I could definitely talk about this part. Of course, as a new studio, as a new project, we've definitely utilized KOLs, of course, for more, in a way, it's more brand awareness and to bring new people into the metaverse. So in marketing, I think people should focus more into, yes, brand awareness, but we want to focus more into educating people. This is a new place. This is a new thing. We need to bring in those people. The jump from Web 1.0 to Web 2.0 was not easy. And now we're saying, hey guys, we're jumping to 3.0, like everybody come on board, right? So how do you explain that? And this is a responsibility on us as studios to educate people too, because when you educate the person, you actually will get them as part of your community, because they feel the sense of you know, somebody care about them. Somebody is there explaining to them every single step of the way. And this is important part strategy and part of the marketing. And yes, of course, we utilize KOLs, all of that. But I believe marketing in the metaverse will switch. Like you'll see a different shift than what we are used to here in the 2.0 marketing. I believe as a community manager, I believe the community marketing is the best power that we have. You know, the Discord, the people, that's the best power. Call me old school, but I believe in the word of mouth. I believe, you know, if a community member goes out there, out to the community and say, you know, hey, MetaFriends is doing this, this, and that. So cool, you might check it out. You will turn sales more than a KOL, because at the end of the day, let's face the truth. A KOL is a person who's, at the end of the day, you give them something. You give them a whitelist, you give them money. So as a person who's watching it, yes, you follow the KOL. Yes, you know, there's credible KOL. Great, this project, you know what I'm saying? So I believe our strength and power is within the community, and that's what we need to focus on. And another thing I would like to add is I'm like, in a way, we need to sense that NFT projects are not competition. We're not competing. You know, you have your own project, I have my own project, and we both are serving a certain mission. For example, our mission is to provide a canvas for the artists, for the designers, you know, to have a decentralized organization, open those four walls and open it to the world with the metaverse. So the thing is, we have our mission, you have your mission, and that cross-community advertisement where when we do, you know, AMAs and stuff like that together, that's part of marketing, and that's very important. You know, utilize your community. You don't know how strong you are until you have a strong community, and that's really what identify a project or a studio as a successful studio. Maintaining your community and being able to expand that using like working with your community together. So that's how really I see the marketing is going to shift. It's totally different than the 2.0, and I'm really excited to see how the shift is going to translate in the future. Thank you.
Thanks, Mesh. And myself is also working in the marketing space, and I can definitely resonate with that. Education is very important. Thought leadership, definitely the key in the space, because we're so early in the phase of Web 3.0, and not a lot of people really understand what's going on. They're just putting stuff in their wallet and investing, but what's the value, you know, in NFTs, and they're investing. They're not fully aware. So I think the word of the mouth is still really powerful, and no one knows your project better than anyone else, right? So KOL, they may help you, but you are in charge of your own project marketing and work. I think you definitely knows everything about your project the best. So I definitely agree with Marshmallows. And so Wilson, you know, I know you guys are working on a very technical, on a protocol level. So how do you create awareness of your protocol, of your project?
I think, to be honest, we don't do much marketing. We, as a protocol, we focus much more on, building the right technology for, developers to help them solve the problem of code starting. I already saw like 4 potential, partners here, Realy.pro. ROCKI already enable users to follow artists. And with us, we could help them to decentralize that and also bootstrap their following amounts. And MetaFriends, and Birdworld, if you're integrated with CyberConnect, like for the first time user logging into your games, they will be able to see, oh, where some of my other friends on the Web3 are already playing this game, and that thing would actually change your whole user experience. If you could see, like, for the first time, if I log into like the Birdworld, I see, okay, let's say Erika is in the game. Okay, that would change the whole experience. I probably would stay there and chat with her for 15 minutes or more. You know, if I couldn't find any other friends, like, you know, that would actually be, you know, your user retention rate would be much lower. And that's something we really want to provide, to provide actual value to developers to help them solve the problem. And to users, we want to make sure they own the data. This is Web3. We don't want to repeat what happened with those giant tech company and end up having different type of, you know, data monopoly model. So for brand awareness, it's basically we talk to developers, we host hackathons, we listen to developers, listen carefully and help them to build solutions. I think that's our way to do it. We don't actually do much marketing.
Definitely. So you got your own developers community. You're helping all the developers. You're doing all the plumber work for the house. You're making everything work from the back end, right? So all the projects like ROCKI or MetaMarshmallow, MetaFriends are able to, you know, provide their users a smooth experience.
Yeah. For example, like ROCKI, if you know, for the first time I log into ROCKI and it already knows like who are my favorite artists, who are my artists, like for example, I like Ethan Chan, I like Justin Bieber, you know, I like Bruno Mars, for example, you know, and then right on, like ROCKI already know, like hey Wilson, here you go, you already followed this guy and they just came out a brand new album or a single, and here's the NFT, right? That would be pretty cool.
That's for sure where we're heading, and I would love to chat with you offline after this session.
Awesome.
Really interesting topics, and you know, I also really have to, you know, agree with Marshmallow there. When you know, nobody's really competing here, we're all building incredible things together, and I think with interoperability and cross-chain, there's, you know, some incredible technologies are going to be built that's going to empower so many content creators and create such fun experiences for consumers where all this technical stuff happens on the background, and it's very easy for people to get into the game without being blockchain or crypto experts of any kind.
Definitely, yeah. All right, I think this leads to our last question here, actually. So, you know, Metaverse is, you know, it's complicated. I would say this world complicated. So it's a mirror world of what's happening in the real world. No, we kind of touched on, you know, social experiences you can have in the metaverse, and the economies you can have, and you can create your own communities. You can hang out with your friends, you can attend events, and having cool avatars and clothings, everything. But if we're thinking about the real world scenario here, obviously, there's a lot of things, you know, we have to reflect a human and object, and also a social relationship, kind of all have to bring in it to this metaverse. And it requires intensive technology here, actually. So we're going to talk about technologies. And I think, Wilson, you're the expert here. What do you think are the technical challenges here, as the thing that you mentioned a lot of that? Can you like lay out in a very simple like terms for people like me, not very technical, but we want to understand what are the challenges are here for metaverse, for bring out, you know, for NFTs implementations in the metaverse? What are the technical challenges here?
Yeah, thanks for the question, but I'm no expert in this, but my point of view of the metaverse, it's obviously a you know, a concept, but I think I think most of the people think of metaverse as a virtual world, and where they lived in it for more than 2 decades since the internet. So it's not the first time that we go virtually and socialize and play games and have avatars and play, you know, play role play games. So I don't think there's basically nothing new, especially when Facebook is talking about metaverse. They're talking about how could we enhance, like, for example, like on Web1, the metaverse or the virtual world, it's like how we browse different content virtually. And then on Web 2, it's how we not only browse content, but also be able to input content virtually and interact more frequently with your cell phone, your mobile devices, with others more frequently and easily. And on on Web3, I think Facebook's direction it's more towards the virtual reality and augmented reality. A lot of the giant tech companies are doing that. Those are hardcore like technology, and they have still a lot of problem and challenges to solve. For example, like the longer you take, like no, actually like wearing a gear is not comfortable at all. And wearing it for more than like 30 minutes, you start to get dizzy. For longer, the worse it comes. So there are lots of technological challenges over there. But on Web3, I think based on the context of a blockchain, what we're talking about, it's a huge upgrade on the internet we had before. And the core part of the upgrade, it's about assets. With the property rights of all kind of assets, including your property rights over your data, your virtual assets, your equipment, your in-game equipment, or your avatar, simple as your avatar, or even your music. And also, of course, the virtual currencies like Bitcoins and Ethereum and all sorts of stable coin. And that changed the whole basic sense of, the basic elements of the economy on top of this Web 2 plus property rights plus smart contract equals to Web 3. And that changed the whole economy. Before, like on Web 2, users, there are billions of people on Web 2, and users were only able to purchase different services, and now you could actually own something. And human by nature, since we, I think it's basically our what we're born to have. It's to trying to own something. I don't want to say greedy, but owning something, it's part of how the economic actually motivates individuals to create productivity. And on the internet, prior to Web3 and blockchain, there's no such thing that you could own. Like everything belongs to Facebook, everything belongs to Mark Zuckerberg, and that's why he is so motivated to build Facebook. And we as the users are not motivated to create as much content as and be as creative as possible. And on Web3, that would change the whole landscape. And NFT, it's just a part of it. And I think the challenges for NFT would be like how easy could people adopt it? Like right now, the biggest challenge I could see, it's like user experience wise, getting a wallet is hard, and remembering those recovery phases, it's complicated, and the whole onboarding process, it's painful. So for the mass majority of user, I think we need to somehow figure that out. Right now, lots of people get into this industry for financial incentive purposes. Would love to see more and more users to get into the industry because of it's just fun, because they want to see Nono's virtual concert provided by produced by Realy.pro. I think that would be cool. Yeah, and yeah, a little bit tap into the DID. Sorry, I'm taking a lot of time. So DID might be one of the potential solution to solve the problem of onboarding. DID, it's not only the identity part, it also solves the problem. It could potentially also solve the problem of authentication. And having one DID, a huge umbrella like representing your multiple wallets with multiple chains, that's actually possible architecture wise. So yeah, a lot has to be done, but it's super exciting because you could own assets, and with the smart contract, business could flow with a basic consensus between parties borderlessly with other countries, and that's what make Web3 amazing. So back to a question originally, I don't think it's too much about the metaverse. I think it's about the new internet, and it's more about the blockchain. Yeah.
All right. Anyone have anything to add?
So
Sure.
sorry, the question was the NFT implementation. What's the requirements to implement the NFT in a metaverse?
Yeah.
And the
So
technical issues.
we can broaden a little bit.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
for NFT options, what are the challenges you see here? Like we touched on education, right? And then what else?
Right.
Like technically or non-technically?
So yeah, of course. So first of all, you know, when you think about the metaverse and how you implement this NFT, is you have to, again, because of education, because it's new, you have to relate your NFT into a real world scenario in a way. Like, for example, the MetaFriend is a pop toy. Pop toy is popular, right? So in the metaverse, we chose the pop toy as a MetaFriend with a unique traits of you know, every MetaFriend is an AI technology, is an AI intelligent that could answer back your questions, and that has their own traits and characteristics. So in that way, we've managed to implement, you know, something from real world into our project that will translate into the metaverse. But now the technical problems that you know, challenges that you go through is, you know, the contracts right now. You know, there's so many contracts. Which one do you use? You know, we're using ERC 998. It's a new contract. How do you implement that and make sure there's no flaws in it? Because again, if you launch a project and then a contract that there's flaws, that's basically a very, like, it's a problematic thing that needs to be fixed, right? So in terms of technical issues, that's how I foresee things. Like, you know, those new contracts that keep on coming in, things are getting better, you know, like so I really believe that to implement an NFT into the metaverse, you have to relate it somehow into the real world. And that, again, goes back to the education. Until we are ready, until we understand it extremely well, until we have, I don't know if we were ever going to have it, you know, it's going to keep on ever-changing world, but like until we have a definition that we all agree on is what is the metaverse, I think we have to relate it into a real world scenario to be able to implement the NFT. And that's a challenge on its own, right? There's a community challenge there, more than even technical.
Right. Knowledge, education, and mindset definitely are the things that we have to overcome.
Exactly.
Marcos, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree. You know, the metaverse is still a pretty new concept to everybody. So, you know, education's a big one, and we're all doing our part as well in building out platforms and apps to be interconnected. So we're building out the space. So that's also huge. So we're all working towards that future. And so, you know, there's only a handful of companies that are building these real world solutions and the implementation of NFTs. So, and like, because most companies don't have, like, you know, like Wilson was talking about, like the VR development and all those problems, you know, we're looking to build the future here. So building those immersive experiences, you know, and having all that, the history of building out this world is all important. So
yeah,
the future.
You guys, all the frontiers fighting at the battlefront for better usability, user experience, and better metaverse experience. So we're close to the end of our session. So I would like to have everyone, you know, just give your one key takeaway message, and also tell our audience any news or updates you would like them to know. I guess we'll start with Yomiko. Yomiko, tell us, you know, anything for our audience to anticipate, and the one key takeaway message.
Yeah. So as I said before, we will host a virtual concert about like No, the Chinese rapper, our metaverse. 23rd of April. So please, everyone who wants to join, please join. And we are selling our tickets pretty soon. And also we will like issue our Realy and other public events in the future. So please, looking forward to that. Thank you.
Very exciting. We're all looking forward to the No concert. All right, Bjorn.
Yeah, thanks. It's been a great session here. So for ROCKI, there's a few things to look out for. Obviously, there's going to be a couple of more very big metaverses, official partnerships being announced. We also had a recent race as well. And of course, we're going to be spending some new budget on marketing to add more musicians, more music NFTs on ROCKI, and also through the metaverses. And of course, for those of you who are token speculators, you should check out our ROCKI token as well. There should be some fun things coming up there. And if there's any musicians as well listening in, we would love to work with you. We have a great artist relations team that kind of helps musicians to be educated on what music NFTs are, how to get started, how to set up their wallet, etc. Yeah, so hopefully we can do this again with you guys. And if there's any of the fellow panelists here, feel free to hit me up as well offline. I would love to talk to all of you and see how we could have some synergies together. So thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, definitely. Everyone should stay in the loop after the panel. All right, Marcos.
Yeah, Marshmallow mentioned it earlier, the community. So join in on the community. We're all growing, and we're, as ROCKI was mentioning, like working together offline as well, and partnerships and collaborations. So, looking forward to continuing chatting with you guys offline and seeing what we all do. So,
yeah, one day when the COVID is gone, hopefully everyone can meet in real person offline. And you guys all have social medias, and on Twitter, you're on Discord, and then I encourage everyone to joining all these projects, Discord and community, and discovering the most up-to-date newses from the project. And Marshmallow, what's your key takeaway for our audience today?
So the key takeaway for our audience today is, again, education. Again, read as much as you can. I write articles for MetaFriends and our studio, and I didn't know this. I wasn't born knowing about NFT and MetaFriends. I've learned this throughout reading, throughout knowing what sources should I read. That's very important. And write things. I really encourage people to write. That's how I learn things, and I write them to words. This always goes into my subconscious, it's always there. Then other than that, I guess I just want to say that we at MetaFriends, we would love to have everybody in our community too. You could follow us at Twitter, MetaFriends NFT, and if you want to follow me at Twitter, it's MetaMarshmallow at MetaX Studio. But other than that, we are actually going live pre-sale April 20. So this is very exciting. If you join us, we are going to start the sale on April 20, and there's some couple whitelist spots still open. So you never know. Other than that, yes, join our community, and I'm literally available 24/7 on Discord. You could just tag me at Marshmallow and I'll respond. Other than that, thank you so much for having me, and I could speak on behalf of all MetaX Studio and MetaFriends. We're very happy to connect with you all, and we're looking forward to connect offline, because I definitely see a lot of partnerships here happening. Everybody has an amazing vision and amazing projects, so we're looking forward for it. Thank you.
Thank you. 24/7. That's a Web3 work ethic.
Exactly.
Amazing. All right. Last but not least, Wilson, tell us what we can anticipate for in the near future from CyberConnect. You're muted, Wilson.
Sorry for that. Yeah. So we'll have a couple pretty exciting partnership coming up. Just stay tuned. It's gonna be games, social media platforms, and also one of the largest, probably the largest game on Web3. Yeah, a lot of the integration will happen and already happening. Yeah, and we're gonna announce our Series A funding round probably in May. It's already closed. Yeah, and we haven't launched the token yet, but we've been thinking about it and designing the tokenomics with one of our investors, specifically Delphi Digital. Yeah, just make sure you follow our Twitter. I think one key takeaway out of this is you see, you know, people are building games, NFTs, music, social. It's coming. Social, it's gonna be a key part of it. It doesn't mean much for all those, you know, activities without the social element to it. And CyberConnect, we're here for the infrastructure. We're building the infrastructure for it. Stay tuned, follow our Twitter, and yeah, that's it. And oh yeah, we're gonna announce another pretty cool product, a Linktree like product, in the next couple of weeks. Yeah, stay tuned.
Stay tuned definitely to CyberConnect. Well, thanks again, everyone, for your amazing contributions and the insights from your project and yourself. And if you like our webinar sessions, please hit subscribe, hit like, and follow us on social media and each project's social media as well, and Blocklike. Thanks again, everyone, and until the next time. Bye.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.